Birthdays, we got Chetwayo with us. Let's bring him in. Yeah, boy, said thanks for holding on there. I had a lot of birthdays to get to, so I guess
yes,
we're going to 8:05. So Seth,
okay.
You're still looking strange without that beard, boy. I had to say, boy, I ain't get accustomed to I ain't get accustomed to it yet. But
just over time.
Where do we start today? I know you wanted to talk about the holistic health clinic and how it came to be. So, where are you starting?
Well, what I want to start off with is why I even choose to talk about the holistic health clinic. I was watching a video online, which was a local viral video of a guy who was basically, cussing out a local doubles vendor because there was a roach in his doubles. So I remember sharing it, and one of the persons I shared it to, and I wonder if people know that the roach is the healthiest part of that doubles. Right? Yeah, the things that people don't know, because if you don't know, you wouldn't understand, right? But people don't know that, right? So then she, responded and had a little discussion going on. And I was like, the ignorance. Now, when I use the term ignorance, so people don't take offense. Ignorance just simply mean a lack of knowledge, but the general ignorance of society with regards to nutritional science is a lot. It's very grand, all right? So most people don't have understanding of nutritional science, and because of that, there are certain things that they won't understand with regards to nutrition, and therefore would consume things that are very harmful to themselves, thinking that it isn't, right? And then she's saying, well, why should that bother you? Because you are benefiting from people's sickness. So that shouldn't be a problem. You should be glad for people, eating bad and not understanding nutritional science and so forth. And that reminded me of why Chetwayo Holistic Enterprise or Holistic Health Clinic came about. It did not come about because I sit down and say, hey, it have a bunch of people that's sick and I could find a way to profit.
You could profit off it or capitalize, yeah.
It came about because, one, it was during COVID. Businesses were shut down, and I took up a legal challenge against the government. And people who heard about the legal challenge got onto you, and then you contacted me in order to do the interview on television, and I agreed, and I did that interview. And the overwhelming response I got from that interview, I got calls from all over, from the US, from Canada, from the UK, from the Caribbean. Because people were saying it's the first time they hear somebody explain things with COVID and they got a proper explanation of it. And they haven't gotten that. Not in the news, CNN, BBC, nowhere have given such a proper explanation. And even went down a little bit into the science of it. And then we had our conversation off air, over the phone. And, we were talking about what I do and so forth. And then somewhere in the conversation, we end up coming up, should do a little segment on TV. And I remember you saying, you think you'll have enough content? I said, yeah, definitely. And then I did. And from that first segment, the response was overwhelming. So people were contacting me. Now, remember, this is COVID time, so everybody hope. So people were contacting me. And they wanted to meet. But, of course, I didn't have, we weren't, social distancing and all these things were in place. So people wanted to either talk to me or whatnot, and each conversation was taking a lot of time on the phone. I mean, in one day I would have gotten like over 60-something calls and messages, right? I mean, like 60-something calls and 60-something messages, all right? So I was like, no, I have to find a way in order to manage this. And then some people started to apply what it is I was telling them with regards to health and nutrition. And due to that, some people, they applied it, and therefore the results they got, which you read out back in 2021, where one of the individuals, a 10-year-old, who was on taking insulin for the past 7 years, right? And after 4 days on my program, no longer required insulin because his blood sugar level was normal. And it's 2 years now since, and his blood sugar level is still normal, still off insulin, all right? Just from those changes, and those who have lost weight and those who have gotten their other health issues reversed. And that gave rise to what I have been doing, and that caused the Chetwayo Holistic Health Clinic to be birthed out of demand from the people, out of necessity. Because there is a lack when it comes to information with regards to nutritional science in Trinidad and Tobago. And that void seemed to have been filled to some degree by what I have been offering to people. So I want people to understand that this holistic health clinic isn't just something that arose just like that. It stemmed from a demand from the people. People were requesting, they wanted to see me, they wanted my time, they wanted to know what I was doing to help these people, and they wanted to be part of that because many people are fed up. A lot of people are fed up, right? Imagine some people come on my program. They have been battling with diabetes for decades. Their condition keeps getting worse, right? Keeps getting worse, going downhill. And they come to me and after a month, 2 months, 3 months, some people after a couple of days, their blood sugar level is back to normal. They are off all medication and all their health issues are gone, right? And what I've been telling people and showing them, that when you understand nutritional science, you would see how easy it is to be healthy. But we have an allegiance to things like culture and tradition.
Yeah.
Right? Now, culture and tradition are things that govern a lot of societies. Right? In fact, most societies are governed by culture and tradition. But culture and tradition can also be in direct contrast to your biology.
Yeah.
Right? Because we hold on to culture and traditions, not understanding that if that is in contrast to our biology, it can lead to the development of health issues, and it makes it harder for people to let go of. Right? And then you have institutions that are birthed as a means to profit from such. I mean, if people look at medical institutions of learning, all of which are owned by pharmaceuticals, if they look into that and you follow that, you would see where the corruption took place.
If you follow the money.
If you follow the money, you would see where it took place. Most people don't know that 99% of medicines are made from petrochemicals. You have petrochemicals as part of it, 99%, right? Yeah. And then you run back and you go back to the John D. Rockefeller, who was the oil tycoon, and his finances is what created or converted the medical institutions of learning, because there were medical institutions of learning before, but then making large donation, they end up taking it over. And they had to find some way to get their petrochemicals into distribution, and they needed to create a market for it. Right. So this is why the medical world doctors are trained to prescribe medication. How much of them would tell you, you know, you need to start focusing on your diet, and let's focus on changing the diet first, making the corrections to the diet first, instead of medicating. You go and it's instant medication. They write you a prescription.
One time, yeah.
Till now, people go by the doctor knowing fully well that they are going to get a prescription. And then we have the advertising industry now, because many countries in the world, pharmaceuticals are banned from advertising. They cannot advertise, except, you know, America and I think New Zealand it is. Those are two countries. Now, we get our television stations and internet and stuff from
America.
US, so we get American stuff. So we get a lot of those advertisements. So now people go to the doctors and stuff and pharmaceuticals and request certain medications, thinking that it would help them with their problem. But that's not dealing with the root cause. That is just trying to suppress a symptom. All right? What I do with Chetwayo Holistic Health Clinic is I go back to the root source, the root cause of the problem. If you address things from the source, you would deal with what is causing that thing. If you have weed in a garden, just by pulling off the leaves of the weed or the top is not going to get rid of it. You have to get it out from the root.
Yeah.
But a lot of the root is deep into our culture.
Yeah, and then too, the other difficult task we've always talked about is the lifestyle change. And I'm hearing that term used very often now, in very recent times here. Lifestyle change, it's very hard. Even with what we were talking about earlier in the first hour, with crime and things like that. And you have also address the mentality of people and the way that they act and react to certain things based on certain deficiencies that might be lacking in their diet and that kind of thing. And you have connected diet to mental issues as well, right?
Correct, and to crime. But it's not just me. These are large scale studies that have been done across the world showing the connection. And when they did those double-blinded studies in prisons, and they found just by increasing nutrients in the diets of inmates, and they found a 46% reduction in violence in prisons, right? And these are double-blinded studies, so the inmates didn't even know that they were even part of these experiments.
Right.
And a 46% reduction, it shows that when it comes to addressing crime, simply trying to ban music, in today's age where we have live streaming and a lot of things is done online, you ban music on the radio, what is that going to do? How is that going to deter people? It's not big. They'll just turn to online streaming sources. That is not going to change much.
Yeah, they could go online and they could get it there. But, you know, like I was saying in the first hour, there are many little aspects to how we deal with it, or how we try to curb it. It's one of the lyrical content is one of the things, but it's not solely and wholly the problem that we need to solve.
When I listen to music, I go more for the beat than for the lyrical content, because sometimes the lyrical content in a lot of songs don't make any sense.
It don't make sense. Right? Sometimes you wonder, you know, was he, you know, sometimes the hook just good.
Yeah. Yep. Correct. And you get a good hook, and that's it. Right? Because its rhythm is vibration, so it applies to us. So it's vibration.
It's vibration.
Sometimes not everybody listen to lyrics. Some do, but I usually don't.
But the point I was making is, even in that lifestyle that one lives in, that is connected to, let's say, a community riddled with poverty and crime and so on and so forth.
Correct.
Right? There is a certain lifestyle that people get accustomed to, and it's not that they can't come out of that, you know. They just need to make a lifestyle change. It's the same thing. You just have to change the way that you approach life, and it will get you out of there.
Yeah. And with back to health, when it comes to lifestyle changes, what have always governed our lifestyle is what we eat. So we kind of take for granted what we eat with regards to the impact it have on our life. So people will look at things that they drink, and we'll talk about how much minerals you get from what you drink, but that only makes up 5%. 95% of the minerals you get is from what you eat. So what we eat have a big influence on even our lifestyle choices, where you lime, all these things. What you eat has a big influence, because people tend to lime around places that they eat, right?
Yeah.
And then eating also have the other social aspect to it. You have a certain kind of community with regards to eating. There was always, you go back with our ancestors, you eat around the fireplace or whatnot, and there was a form of community there. So changing eating habits going and cause a lifestyle change. But some of the habits that we have with regards to what we eat, those are the lifestyle changes people don't want to change, because they have created a community. Though it might be an unhealthy community, it is still a community, and that is also something that holds people to poor dietary habits. And I saw somebody comment that, you know, people would look for anything to bad talk doubles. All right, I saw somebody comment and say that. I don't know if people know that the oils used for doubles, right, have been classed as more dangerous than alcohol. Right? But people don't know that, because, again, like I mentioned, ignorance is something that is highly prevalent in our society. So people don't know. So they say, you know, he bashing doubles, right? Not just doubles alone, but I remember I draw reference to the video I saw. But we have a high prevalence of consuming fried foods in this country, right? And we utilize oils that are more deadly, takes more lives than alcohol. But most people don't understand that, because a lot of people do not do the research. We are not a society of researchers, right? We you know, just give in to authority. Hey, the authority say this, so that means this is true, right? And we give in to that, so we trust the messenger. So we don't bother to fact check the message. And I believe I said that last week as well. We trust the messenger and we don't bother to fact check the message. So what I do at Chetwayo's Holistic Health Clinic is I re-educate. I show people the science. I show them the information, the data, right? Now, people don't like people that share the truth, right? Because when you get the truth now, it is going to cause you to now have to act upon it. So it's better I avoid the truth because I don't want to make certain changes. What if the truth is something I do not like? Right? So we all say we love the truth, but many of us really and truly don't. We love the lies because sometimes the lies apply to our confirmation biases.
Yeah.
And the truth can disrupt that. And many people don't want the truth. Many people have come to me and left hole in their head, you know, when I show them the information.
Yeah,
I
have gotten messages and stuff from people with little feedback and things saying, boy, you know, I didn't know so and so and thing, but that man laid out, you know, that man laid out, you know, they said, I could understand it now. It had a lot of things that they didn't know, certain things they've been told, they believe for all their life. You know, their own truth. Eventually, when somebody's in denial, you're in denial because you choose to live your life based on your own truth, and that truth has to be something that is convenient to your lifestyle. So if it's convenient to what makes you happy living your lifestyle, it's the truth, and everything else is an over-exaggeration of or not factual. It's just the way that people approach life. It's something that, you know, we have to be a little more open to debates. I've always said that. Like I said, from next month, which will be March month, we want to engage the public in this segment. So I'll probably have you on like a little earlier so that we can accommodate that, because I think debate is good. Not just debate, but conversation. I don't want to use the term debate because a debate implies that it's going to be something,
aggressive,
confrontational. Right? So it's not about being confrontational. It's about accessing information and having a discussion on that information, whether it is new to you or it is something that you heard before but maybe you didn't properly understand, things like. But it's just about opening the conversation. I think you know that's going to go.
Because we need to get more dialogue along the lines of nutritional science, because that is where the problem stems, but it's where the least amount of attention is given.
All right. So Seth, thanks a lot, and we will touch base next week. Will be the first show.
Yes, because I want to touch on showing the connection between want to show the connection between gray hair and early grain and what it tells us about our bodies and deficiencies and what health issues we can, you know, look out for from looking at the fact that we might be graying.
I have some grays in my beard, eh? I have a few in my hair, but we'll get to that next week. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes. All right, thanks for having me.
All right, cool. That is Chetwayo aboard, and we're going to get interactive with the segment from next month, March. All right, so I got to